Hey there, football fans. I'm back with a different kind of video today. We're going to take a deep dive into what went wrong with Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in the 2024-2025 season. After dominating English football for several years, City suddenly hit a major slump. A team that everyone feared just last season didn't even win the league this time, and on top of that, they were knocked out of the Champions League early. So, what happened? What went wrong? Let's break it down together. Manchester City started the 2024-2025 season hoping to continue their dominance in English and European football, but things didn't go as planned. They ended the season without winning a single trophy. It's actually the first trophyless season for Pep Guardiola since he took charge at City. Manchester City finished the season in 6th place, missing out on a Champions League spot for the first time under Pep Guardiola. That's a huge drop compared to their performances in previous seasons. Part 1. Manchester City's performance across competitions in the 2024-2025 season. 1. Premier League. Manchester City finished the 2024-2025 season in 6th place, missing out on Champions League qualification for the first time in the Pep Guardiola era. What went wrong? Major drop in goal scoring. Their goal-scoring rate dropped by around 20% compared to the previous season. Lack of midfield control. With Rodri sidelined for months and De Bruyne not at his best, City struggled to dominate games like they used to. Poor results against big teams. They dropped crucial points against Arsenal, Liverpool, and even Manchester United. Stats. Games played: 36 wins, 20 draws, 7 losses, 9 goals scored, 68 goals conceded, 41. Goal difference, plus 27, 2. UEFA Champions League. City had a strong group stage and topped their group. But in the round of 16, they were knocked out by Real Madrid with an aggregate score of 6-3. Why they got eliminated? Defensive issues in the second leg. Real Madrid exploited City's defense with quick counterattacks. Tactical mistakes by Guardiola. Unlike last season, Pep went with a narrow midfield setup and no natural wingers, giving players like Vinicius and Bellingham space to thrive. No Rodri. His absence due to injury really hurt City's midfield balance. 3. FA Cup. City lost 1-0 in the FA Cup final to Crystal Palace. This was their second consecutive FA Cup final defeat. Key points. Mental pressure. The team looked tense, knowing this was their last shot at a trophy. Omar Marmoush's missed penalty, one of the most talked about moments in the media. Smart tactics by Palace. They defended well, launched sharp counterattacks, and neutralized City's key threats. 4. Carabao Cup League Cup. City were eliminated in the 4th round after a 2-1 loss to Tottenham. Unlike previous seasons, Guardiola's second-string lineup didn't look up to the task. Important note: Pep fielded several youngsters and backup players, but they couldn't handle the intensity and tactics of a strong Spurs side. Section summary. The 2024-2025 season was one of the worst under Pep Guardiola in terms of results. City came up short in all competitions, both domestic and European. But this failure wasn't just about results. It pointed to deeper problems: structural, mental, physical, and even managerial. We'll dig into those in the next sections. Part 2. Tactical and technical problems at Manchester City in the 2024-2025 season. 1. Lack of variety in attacking play. One of Pep's biggest strengths in recent years was his ability to switch things up in attack, from false nines to inverted fullbacks and inside wingers. But this season, City stuck rigidly to a predictable system. They overused the 3-2-1 formation, focused on positional play, with little flexibility against reactive teams like Crystal Palace and Wolves. Direct runs behind the defense for Holland weren't as effective anymore. Opponents closed down space well. Long shots and direct play were used far less, even when packed defenses called for it. Result: a clear drop in build-up goals. According to Opta, City's average XG per game fell from 2.1 to 1.6. 2. Over-reliance on Rodri and no proper backup. Rodri is the engine of City's midfield. He's crucial not just for breaking up play, but also for dictating tempo. Whenever he was out injured or suspended, Kovacic and Rico Lewis couldn't fill his shoes. The space between midfield and defense became a weak spot, especially against quick transition teams like Arsenal and Spurs. The stats show it clearly. City failed to win 9 of the 16 games Rodri missed. 3. Weakness against counterattacks and deep defending. Despite having top defenders like Dias, Akanji, and Guardiola, City struggled with transitions after losing the ball. Full-backs didn't get temporary cover when they pushed up. Defenders lost too many one-on-ones, especially against pacey attackers. The midfield was slow to recover and cover space during counters. Example, Vinicius's goals in the second leg against Real Madrid, just one diagonal ball sliced open the entire defense. 4. Lack of creativity in midfield. The De Bruyne effect. De Bruyne missed a big chunk of the season due to injury, and that had a big impact. Fewer key passes in the final third. Fewer chances created from open play. Over-reliance on Foden and Bernardo Silva, who couldn't carry the creative burden alone. According to Huskert, average key passes per game dropped from 17.2 to 13.8. 5. Haaland's unsteady form. In 2022 to 2023, Haaland scored 52 goals in all competitions. This season was a different story. Defenders marked him tighter and more aggressively. He got fewer chances created for him. In big games, he often looked isolated. Stats, league goals, 18 down from 36 last season. UCL goals, 3, touches in the opponent's box, down 28% from last year. 6. Pep's late or conservative substitutions. When the team needed an attacking spark, Pep was often too cautious or too slow with his changes. He brought on Doku and Grealish too late. Young talents like Bob and Oscar Bob weren't trusted in crunch moments. He kept playing out-of-form players like Kovacic, even when they struggled. 7. Decline in playing out from the back. Build up from the back is a Pep signature. But this season, that too faltered. Ederson wasn't as sharp under pressure with his passing. Opponents pressed high and often won the ball back in City's half. Poor spacing and positioning from players reduced passing options. Result, the percentage of effective possessions ending in the final third dropped from 54% to 46%. Part 3. Key players in the 2024 to 2025 season. 1. Kevin De Bruyne. The perpetual injury risk. De Bruyne missed a large part of the season due to a recurring hamstring issue and played only 14 league games. Even when he returned mid-season, he didn't look like his old self. His decision-making, through balls, and physical intensity had clearly dipped. He ended the season with just 3 assists and 1 goal, compared to 18 assists last season. Takeaway: without De Bruyne, City lost their creative brain. His rushed return didn't help tactically either. 2. Erling Haaland, a shadow of last season. He scored 52 goals last season. This year, just 24. He struggled to make an impact in big matches: UCL, derbies, finals. Opponents double-marked him and cut off his supply. Haaland contributed little to build-up play and often drifted out of the game during critical moments. Key stats: league goals, 18. Shots on target, 48, down 33% from last season. Touches in the box, 165, down from 230. 3. Phil Foden, the lone bright spot, easily City's standout player this season. Stepped up in KDB's absence, played as a no. 10, and recorded 16 goals and 9 assists in the league. Creative, technical, hardworking, and showed real leadership, but the burden on him was huge. Takeaway: Foden went from golden boy to essential asset, but he can't carry the team alone. 4. Rodri, indispensable, but drained. Still the backbone of the midfield, but overused due to a lack of alternatives. He was vital in build-up, defense, transitions, and even scoring in some games. When he didn't play, the team looked lost. Stats: passes per game, 89. Tackle success, 72%. Excellent defensive coverage, but showed signs of fatigue toward the end of the season. 5. Bernardo Silva, all over the place, played in various roles: wide midfielder, central mid, right winger. Still had sharp passes and great movement, but lacked consistency. Constantly switching positions made it hard for him to settle into a key role. Note: he became more of a utility player than a core playmaker. 6. Ederson, decline in confidence. His footwork remained decent, but his shot stopping clearly dropped. A few high-profile errors, especially against Arsenal and Real Madrid, shook the team's confidence in defense. Stats: saves per game, 1.8. Errors leading to goals, for most under Pep at City. 7. Ruben Dias, Guardiola, and Akanji, a cracked wall. Guardiola had a tough season at left-back, struggled with positioning and sensing with wingers. Dias returned from injury but didn't regain his top form. Akanji was solid in build-up, but vulnerable in one-on-one defensive situations. Stats: goals conceded in the league, 34, up from 26 last season. Clean sheets, just 12 in the league, 8. Jeremy Doku, a season of highs and lows. Doku started strong but suffered a dip in form and struggled with injuries. He's fast and a great dribbler, but inconsistent with his final pass and decision-making. Part 4. Comparing with the golden years, a gradual decline or sudden drop. To really understand Manchester City's struggles in the 2024-25 season, we need to look at their past performances, especially during their peak years from 2020 to 2023. Comparing the current season with those golden years helps us figure out whether this is a slow decline or a sudden collapse. 1. Overall team stats in the past 3 seasons. In the 2021-22 season, City won the Premier League with 93 points. They scored 99 goals, conceded only 26, and kept 21 clean sheets, dominating the league in classic Guardiola fashion. The following season, 2022-23, they picked up slightly fewer points, 89, but it was arguably their best year ever. They won the treble, the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League. That season, they scored 94 goals, conceded 33, and had 17 clean sheets. In 2023-24, they reclaimed the Premier League title with 91 points, 92 goals scored, 31 conceded, and 18 clean sheets. They were still elite, just a notch below their historic treble season. Now, in 2024-25, as of May 18th, City's performance has clearly dipped. They're currently third in the table with around 81 points, only 78 goals scored, and 34 conceded. They've managed just 12 clean sheets, the lowest in the last 4 years. The only trophy they've won this season is the Community Shield, which pales in comparison to their past glories. Takeaway: fewer goals, fewer clean sheets, and lower points suggest a real structural drop in quality. 2. Playing style and tactics. During their successful seasons, City's key traits were dominating possession, around 63%. High intensity, well-organized pressing. Tactical flexibility, switching between 3-4-1 and 4-3-3. High XG and plenty of chances created, but this season, possession has dropped to around 58%. They've struggled to break down defensive teams. Pressing has fallen off, especially when Rodri or De Bruyne were missing. Tactical variety has turned into inconsistency, players like Guardiola, Akanji, and Bernardo being shifted around too much. 3. Mentality and crisis management. In the golden years, City often bounced back quickly after conceding average response goal time under 8 minutes. They finished games strong. They had a winning mentality in finals and big games. This season, though, in key games versus Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid, United, they often couldn't recover. 8 out of their 10 losses came from goals conceded after the 80th minute. They tended to fade in second halves. 4. Squad depth and rotation. In previous seasons, players like Gundogan, Mahrez, Jesus, Stones, and Cancelo gave City depth. Pep had 2 to 3 top-level options in every position. But this season, with key departures and frequent injuries, rotation has been a problem. In big games, the bench lacked quality, especially when De Bruyne was out. 5. Guardiola, still sharp or getting stale? In past seasons, Pep kept the team fresh and adaptable. But in 2024-25, he stuck rigidly to possession-based control, even when it wasn't working. Overcomplicated positional changes seem to confuse players. It feels like both Pep and the team are suffering from tactical fatigue. Part 5. Is Pep Guardiola's era at Manchester City coming to an end? After a rollercoaster 2024-25 season, a big question is on the minds of fans, analysts, and even some players. Has Pep Guardiola's golden era at Manchester City come to an end? To answer that, we need to look at several aspects: tactical, psychological, motivational, and managerial. 1. Tactical repetition and idea fatigue. During his time at City, Pep has redefined the team's style multiple times, introducing innovations like inverted fullbacks, deep playmaking from false midfielders, and the famous 3-2-for-1 structure. But this season, a lot of those tactics don't seem as effective as before. Opposing managers have figured out how City attack and defend. Big teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, and even Spurs have shown that Pep's plans are becoming easier to predict. It feels like his tactical ideas are losing their edge. 2. Mental fatigue, players, and Pep himself. 8 straight years at one club, especially under the intense pressure of top-level European competition, takes a toll. Many City players have openly said that working with Pep is intense. He's incredibly demanding, even in easy games. This constant pressure might be draining the players mentally. Their focus and motivation to perfectly execute his complex plans seem to be fading. Even Pep himself has sounded more tired than usual in recent interviews. 3. Success saturation, when there's nothing left to win. In 2022-23, Pep and City won the treble Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League. That's the ultimate peak. After that, it's naturally harder to stay motivated. This is where success fatigue kicks in, when players no longer feel the same hunger to win trophies they've already lifted. City's performance this season, especially in big games, reflects that mental saturation. 4. Squad transition and misfit with Pep's style. Over the past few years, City lost players like Gundogan, Mahrez, Jesus, Sterling, and Cancelo, all well tuned to Pep's style. In their place, the club brought in younger, or less tactically experienced players like David Raya, Nunes, Kovacic, and Doku, but Pep's system needs high football IQ and experience. This season, the gap between his tactical demands and what the squad can deliver seems bigger than ever. 5. Slipping results and waning authority. For the first time since the 2019-20 season, City didn't win the league. They also exited the Champions League early against Real Madrid, and their domestic form has been underwhelming. The dominant aura Pep and City once had is starting to fade. Fans, the media, and even European pundits are asking, is this the end of an era? The verdict: end of an era or beginning of a rebuild. Given the current situation, there are 2 paths ahead. 1. Rebuild with Pep. He stays, gets full backing from the board, brings in fresh players, simplifies his style, and leads the team into a new phase. 2. Smart exit. Pep leaves at the end of 2024-25 on good terms, and with his legacy intact, maybe to start a new project or take a break. Either way, one thing's clear: the 2024-25 season is a turning point in Pep Guardiola's story with Manchester City. Thank you for watching. Dear ones, please subscribe to the channel and like the video.